Do you believe in all things magic? Do you believe it to be true? Now sit back and relax, my friend, as I prove it to you. Ava was 7 years old, with a brilliant, wondering mind. Everything was questioned, and then she'd question what she'd find. One early sunny morning, her windows washed with dew. Ava opened up her curtains as she pondered what to do. The sun was beaming brightly. A damp fog was in the air. Ava was intrigued by this, so she quickly brushed her hair. She ran down and ate her breakfast, porridge, a berry or two, and then she faced her next task, finding her missing shoe. She looked under the sofa and the cupboard in the stairs. She searched all of her bedroom, beneath her clothes out on the chair. She looked outside on the cabin porch for clues, ideas, and facts. She was just about to give up hope, but then she shouted, "Max!" Max was her big, soft puppy dog. He liked to chew things in his mouth. She asked Max where her shoe was, and Max started running south. Ava ran with just one shoe on. She ran the best she could. But Max was fast with 4 legs, and she was sticking in the mud. She struggled through the bramble bushes, thorns pulling on her dress. She imagined what her mum would say. "Ava, what a mess!" But Ava liked a challenge, and she also liked her shoe. So if this was the way to catch up Max, then this was what she'd do. She'd never been this far before. She didn't know these trees. She knew that it was different. She could sense it in the breeze. Woof, woof! A startled Ava, who'd been scared by Max's sound, jumped so high she thought she could fly, until she landed on the ground. A little shaken and a little coy, Ava began laughing. "Max, you silly boy!" But Max was now busy. He was circling a tree. His behavior was now different, so Ava rushed to see. "What is it, boy? Is my shoe in there?" Max's eyes told her yes with a soft, guilty stare. At the foot of the tree and under its roots laid a really big hole that was filled up with boots. "What is this?" Ava thought to herself. And the smell from the boots was no good for her health. "Pew!" she cried as she got nearer and nearer, with the task of finding her shoe still not any clearer. So many boots, so many shoes! Max had been busy with his afternoons. Deeper and deeper into the tree, darker and darker, the harder to see. Ava realized whilst feeling around. She was getting much deeper, but not feeling the ground. "There's too many shoes, Max. My mind's in a muddle. I like to win challenges, but it's not a fair puzzle." All of a sudden there came a loud crack. The shoes were sinking and Ava fell on her back. Shoes were tumbling down and around. Ava struggled with might, but went into the ground. Down she slid through a long, dark tunnel. The shoes were pulling her down like a funnel. "Ouch, my head," groaned Ava as she opened her eyes. A little fuzzy at first, but then wide with surprise. "Where am I?" she asked, letting out a few cries. "I'm in an underground house lit by fireflies. I'm dreaming. Wake up now. Wow, this is surreal. I know, I'll nip myself." But the pain felt real. Okay, that's strange. It must be the bump. There's no way I fell down in a secret tree trunk. I must have sent my head a bit dizzy, getting mixed up, and my memory fizzy. But came a voice from where the shadows she hid. "Hello, dearest Ava. Expect you I did." Panic, terror, it all came at once. "Leave me alone," was Ava's shouted response. She picked up a stick and wiped tears from her eyes. "I'll hit you with this if you try anything wise." "Please, dearest Ava, I mean you no harm. You're the special little girl I've watched on the farm. So clever and inquisitive, I just knew you would come. Finding my home isn't for anyone. You have to be brave and embrace all things, not get caught up in the everyday strings. To believe and to ponder in all things that excite. To have wonderful dreams every wonderful night." Now as she was saying this, in the darkness shone lights, sparkles and glows. What a wonderful sight. Magic came from her small dirt-washed hands. The fireflies danced as she pointed commands. "Don't be scared, dear, I am but a friend. with stories and teachings and lessons to lend. I sense from inside you there's much I can teach, uncharted magic that's there to be reached. When you see a seed, you feel its spirit and strife, the passion for beauty and its journey of life. These thoughts of compassion, they cannot be bought. This underlying beauty is only self-taught. Ava, still shaking but listening close, was worrying inside this wasn't something she'd chose. How do you know this? Are you some kind of witch? And what kind of person lives here in a ditch? I've always been told not to talk to strangers. And I've also been taught of all of the dangers. Many a story I've heard ends so tragic. But my biggest question here is, are you really magic? Out of the shadows came a modest snigger. Ava's eyes were adjusting. She now saw a small figure, only little, with hair looking unkept. To be honest, she thought, this whole place could be swept. Darling Ava, she said, if you're ready to see, I'll come out of the shadows so you can see me. Be warned though, my friend, as I haven't been blessed with external beauty, and I'm not the best dressed. I don't have a mirror, I don't own a shower, but the things I possess come from the earth's power. Ava was scared, but also felt she could trust the kind, gentle voice coming out from the dust. Okay, she said, I'm ready to see the face of the voice of which is talking to me. I won't judge you on your modest attire, as it's the person inside whom I seem to desire. The way you talk in metaphors and rhyme, it's the things that you say for which my heart entwines. Ava heard her feet shuffling along the mud floor. Fireflies assembled and appeared more and more. The figure began to speak the words of her spell. Ava winced a little from the pain where she'd fell. Fireflies, fireflies, take this darkness of night. Light up like our hearts, light up oh so bright. Fireflies, fireflies, be rid of this gloom. With your warm, bright glow, light up this room. An immense crackle was heard, and Ava was blinded. At this sudden moment, her vulnerability reminded. She covered her eyes. She felt the atmosphere change. Everything she felt was ever so strange. But then it was still a feeling of peace, a blanket of warmth, like she'd been wrapped in a fleece. She lowered her hands and she opened her eyes. Boo! Shouted the figure. Ha ha ha! Surprise! Before Ava's eyes was an unknown creature. Hello, I'm Isabel. It's a pleasure to meet you. A small, scruffy thing with bushy, wild hair. Ava felt awfully rude as she could only stare. Her clothes were old, dirty and tatty. Her hair not been brushed, all over and ratty. Ha 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 ha! Up Isabel sprung. What's wrong, my dear? The cat got your tongue. Don't be shy now, hear me plead. I am but a friend, yes, a friend indeed. Come and sit down now. It's 2:45. I'll put us on some fresh nettle tea. Here you go, you sit right there. You are my guest, so you have my chair. Ava looked down at where she was sat. It was just a tree stump covered in tat, an old shabby blanket to cover the wood, with no cushions or comfort like a good chair should. Her home was a mismatch and a bit of a jumble. Isabel was proud of it. She didn't grumble. Ava watched her making the tea, buzzing around like an old busy bee. She was loud, unorganized, and she looked a bit funny as she scrambled through boxes looking for honey. Ah, there you are, taking the pan off the heat. The finest ingredient to make the tea sweet. She counted the nettle leaves, 2 each, so that's 4. She put 2 in each cup, insisting Ava would pour. Isabel slurped loudly with each sip of her tea. Ava let out a giggle, but accidentally. There was an awkward silence as they sat eye to eye. Then all of a sudden they both let out and cried,